All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 34 of the Last One Fast One podcast. We have a fantastic guest tonight, and he's swimming Division Two right now. And we're here to break the misconception that if you swim Division Two, it's not because you're not good enough to swim Division One. Division Two has some outstanding swimmers, and Lamar Taylor is one of them. He's a four-time Bahamian national record holder, and last year at the Division Two National Championships, he went 3 for 3, taking down the 50 free in 1904, 100 back in 45.95, and 100 free in 42.30. So, Lamar, thanks for joining us.
It's no problem. I'm glad to be on the show today.
Absolutely. So, kind of getting into this episode, you're from the Bahamas. How did you find your way to Henderson State?
Okay, well, I think almost like any other summer, I was I went on SwimCloud and made my account, and um, because in the Bahamas we don't have any yard swimming at all. We just have usually long course or short course meters. We don't really have any long course, short course yards times.
Right.
So uh, posting my long course meters times on SimCloud didn't really gain that much attraction, and had a lot of D1 schools and Division two schools interested in me, but none of them were really offering much. And Henderson was one of the schools that wanted to take me on a recruiting visit, and as soon as I got here, they showed me a lot of love and a lot of appreciation, and showed that they wanted me here. And another fact is that they offered me a scholarship that I could not refuse. So
Gotcha.
here, here I am now at Henderson.
There you go. What were some of the other schools that maybe did reach out to you?
Um, it's been such a long time, but the only schools that I can really remember was LSU was one of them that
Okay.
I ended up talking to. Like I think it was the assistant or head coach that I ended up talking to at Junior Worlds, but that didn't really go anywhere. Northern Michigan was another pretty big Division two school. NSU, I really can't remember all of the schools. I didn't really, since I was so young, I didn't really do much of the talking. My mom did most of the
Yeah.
talking, just letting me know, hey, this school is interested in you once I hop on a FaceTime or a Zoom meeting or whatever. And I just kind of talk to them now and then, but I didn't really, I made the decision on which school I go to, but didn't really do much like the over the text talking.
Yeah. Gotcha. For sure. For sure.
What's kind of like the culture like of competitive swimming in the Bahamas? Like, are there any like big sports there? And like, how does swimming kind of like tie into that?
Well, swimming definitely is not one of the bigger sports in the Bahamas. I would say one of our main sports that everybody wants to do is really track, baseball, and basketball. Everybody wants to run track, and I used to run a little bit of track in high school. And the only reason I stopped was because at one of the big meets, I didn't warm up properly and came off the blocks, and my right hip flex just like went out, and it just I was out of swimming for about a good 2 3 weeks. Like, I couldn't swim properly and had to swim and meet like 2 weeks later. And I did okay, but just wasn't my best. And after that, my mom looked at me and was like, "You're not running track anymore." I was like, "You got to focus on swimming." I was like, "Understandable." But swimming would is definitely one of the lower tiers sports that nobody really pays attention to. We don't have a lot of swimmers. I would say we have a total of maybe 1,000, 1,500 people, like in every age group,
Yeah.
compared to in America, like millions. But swimming is definitely one of the smaller sports, and it's kind of growing a little bit more just by my generation that's coming up. There's a lot more inspiration and trying to reach out to the younger uh, younger kids and try to get them into swimming because it's a really fun sport and can take you places. Like for me, it's taken me to uh, Budapest, Hungary, Australia, Japan, basically almost all around the world. And I'm still only 20,
Yeah,
so it's a very gifting sport in the Bahamas, I would say.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, go ahead, Luke.
Oh yeah. So then, like, how did you get into swimming then if it's so small there? Like, what
Um,
got you in?
my sister was the same as me. Like she did a whole lot of different sports. She ran track, did baseball, softball and swam. So just out of association kind of. Um, I started learning to swim when I was 2, and then like just I guess my mom saw like a passion for it and like a talent for swimming, so I just stayed in swimming, but still did other sports, and it was just mainly because kind of my sister did it, and then my mom wanted me to know how to swim, so we she put me into swimming.
For sure. Were you taking it pretty seriously, like when you first started, or when did you kind of lock down into maybe becoming an all year round swimmer? Or yeah,
I started taking swimming serious maybe around the age of 13 and 14.
okay,
Around that's when I really started to analyze my stroke, compare it to other top tier Olympians and top tier athletes and stuff like that. But for a really long time, when I was like 8 and under, 9, 10, 11, 12, it was just more of it was a fun activity for me. I was just having fun, and I still am today, but it just wasn't as competitive. I didn't really take it that serious. It was just me having fun until I hit 13, 14, the age group 13, 14, where I really started to um, taking things serious and started focusing on swimming a lot more and uh, started writing down goals, aspirations, anything like that, and just really focus on it.
for sure. Like outside of swimming in the Bahamas, like what's life like in the Bahamas for someone who lives in America who has no idea? Like what would you want to fill them in?
Oh, so, life like in the Bahamas is just fun and entertaining. Like once you have like a solid friend group, you can I would almost say you can get anything done inside, like anything done in the Bahamas. Like it, it's fun. I can't really put into words, but
Yeah,
I can definitely say like the being at a beach, having like the live music, the festivals like Junkanoo and stuff like that. It's so colorful, lively, and just fun. Like you have to experience for yourself. The Bahamas is just it's hard to explain, but it once you go there, you get what I'm saying.
for sure. And how big
It's
is the city that you're from in the Bahamas?
it's it's small. It's
Okay.
extremely small.
Yeah,
It's in comparison to the US, it's like a tiny little dot. Even on the map, it's like just a tiny little dot. It's not huge. It's really small.
for sure. For sure. And like, are you kind of close with any of the other swimmers that are from the kind of the Caribbean area, whether it's like Jordan Crooks, Dylan Carter, I know Jerome Thompson, he's kind of from
Oh,
that area. Like, is there like kind of like a mutual respect you guys have for all of each other being from kind of the same region or?
that's exactly how it is. It's just that we all grew up swimming at this same meet, Carifta, where it's just all of the Caribbean islands come together and you bring your best athletes. So we kind of some of us me, Jordan and Jerome, like have met at those meets and swam against each other and stuff like that. And now that we see each other at big time meets like worlds and nationals, like we have like that mutual respect and always try to keep in touch with each other, try and make sure that we get better because honestly, like Caribbean swimmers are like the minority, like they're a small group of swimmers. So like one of us makes like one of the Caribbean guys makes a semifinals or finals, all of the Caribbean guys come and watch it and like support each other and just like it's like one big family. I wouldn't like to separate the Caribbean like the Bahamas, Trinidad, and Cayman Islands. I would like to say we're basically all big one big family. If we help each other, if if one of us has a trainer and the other doesn't, they can use our trainer. If one of us doesn't have a coach at the time, our coach coaches them for a little bit until they come in. It's like we watch over each other. We have each other's backs and make sure like everyone's good.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool that you guys have that community. And you guys are you guys making a name for yourself. I mean, I keep hearing all these swimmers from the Caribbean, and it's intrigued me to do some more research on kind of Caribbean swimming as a whole. So
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah. So what's it like when you move to Arkansas? What was it called? Arkadelphia? Is that how you say that?
Arkansas, Arkadelphia, yes, sir.
Gotcha. So what's that like? You're living on the beach, or you're in the Bahamas by the beach, and then you move to small town Arkansas. Like, what are some like differences and like, or maybe some culture shock that you had when you got here, or not? Kind of what was that experience like?
Oh, it definitely was a huge culture shock for me. Uh, One of the things was is that I guess in the Bahamas, like since we're so small, like I guess we kind of keep it straightforward and don't beat around the bush. But when I came to America, I had to like kind of realize that I can't be as straightforward and blunt as I usually am back at home. So that was one thing. Another thing is like the food was definitely definitely a culture shock. There's a lot more fast food restaurants every
Yeah.
corner. Like that, I kind of see why. Like it's kind of funny because a lot of Caribbean athletes and some like Bahamians, whenever they come, like they're so skinny, but as soon as they go to America, they come back a little chubby, and it's kind of funny. Now I
Yeah.
see why it happens. Uh, I would, and then like beaches, like everyone has a lake, and I would say the clear water. That's one thing. Like in the Bahamas, one of the things we're known for is just having beautiful beaches and clear waters. And then coming here and seeing like the lakes and it being a little murky is like, y'all swim in that? It's kind of a funny thing. Uh, one of Another thing was like fish, like fresh. Like I'm known to always eat like fresh fish back at home,
Yeah,
and then coming here and ordering fish from a restaurant you can taste the difference. And I would probably like the seasons and trying to live, it was all just very different. I would say one of the main things that shocks me was how everyone calls their coach by their first name. In the Bahamas, if you're older than us, we call you sir, or by your last name, it's like coach so and so. You never say coach first name. Like
right.
that was a funny thing because uh, coming there and meeting my college coaches, it was like, oh, you don't have to call me Coach Siri. You can call me Coach Scotty. Call me Coach Scotty. And I was like, no, I'm not used to that.
Yeah,
Over time I learned how to like call them by their first name, but at first it was definitely a little strange to do.
for sure.
But uh another thing was I guess music and just how people hanged out. Like in the Bahamas we're known to like really listen to like different cultural music like reggae and what's it called? Sorry. But it's just like the music is different.
Yeah,
Like especially that I'm in Arkadelphia, it's kind of a more country thing, and I'm not really a big fan of country at all. So that was hard to switch over to.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
How often do you get to make it back home to the Bahamas?
Oh, I get to go home pretty often. Like I always go in the summer, I always go in the Christmas time, and throughout the year I have different meets. So sometimes I may stop home for about 2 or 3 days and see my family. So I get to go back home pretty frequently rather than other internationals.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we're gonna kind of switch the conversation over to kind of your swimming at Henderson State. Me and Luke always find it very interesting to kind of hear where people come from. And we had someone on from Hawaii, and then we talked like 25 minutes about Hawaii. I'm like, man, we got to start asking this guy some swim questions now.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of talk a little bit about like Henderson State swimming. It seems like you guys got something special brewing down there, and you and Jack Armstrong are kind of the spearheading it.
Definitely. Definitely. I would say Henderson State has definitely grown a whole lot since I've been here. If you look at the times from my freshman year to now my senior year, even my junior year, uh, we have grown a lot, whether it's in team, like the team number, or like just times, like we're getting faster. And since like we're such a small group, and our coach always tells us is like we have talent, and it's like there's nobody in our way except for us. So whenever we go to these meets and stuff like that, it's almost like we have something to prove just because we're such a small Division II team and that nobody's ever heard about. And every time we go out of meet, everyone's like, where the hell is Arkadelphia? Or who the hell is Henderson? Like stuff like that. So it's always, and I love when people say that because you always see these big swimmers coming from like the big schools like NC State, Tennessee, FSU, uh, Florida Gators, stuff like that. You always see them coming from, and known to come from those big schools. But now it's like this new wave of Division II athletes that are changing everything. Whereas like you don't have to go to a big school to be fast. You can go to a small Division II school to be fast. So Henderson State is definitely growing and definitely making a name for itself, and I'm happy about that.
For sure. And
Yeah.
that's one of the main reasons why me and Luke wanted to bring you on is because
Exactly.
you only hear about the Cal swimmers and the Texas swimmers and the Tennessee swimmers, but you don't hear about the Division II swimmers who are swimming just as fast and not
Yeah.
getting any credit for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna talk about we were looking back at some of your times before you went to Henderson and your 100 back time. I converted your long course time and it was a 52 like 08. And
Yeah.
last year you went 45.9,
Yeah.
which is absolutely like just massive time drop. So what are you guys doing at Henderson that's like what's the training like? What causes like you to get so quick?
Honestly, I don't really even dig deep into our training. I'm the type of swimmer where if Scotty tells me it's like we're doing 31s today, I'll be like, all right, bet, let's go. We're doing 31s. If you're saying we're doing 10, 25 on 20 seconds, I'll be like, all right, bet we're doing that today. So, but one thing I would say that we're doing probably different than a lot of other schools is that Scotty listens to his athletes. Like he listens to me and Jack sometimes and like he takes advice from us if because you don't really know, and as a coach and the head of a mind of a coach, you don't really know what's going on with your athletes. You don't know how they're feeling after a set. You can like kind of get an idea, but you can't really tell how they're feeling. So with me and Jack, since we've had so much experience over the years and we've been swimming for so long and we've met so many other people that we kind of have an idea. It was like, this is a good set. This is a not so good set for where we want to be at, what we want to work on, stuff like that. And me and Jack also are inspiring to be coaches inside the future. So this is like a good, like a good practice almost, and it's working because like sometimes I'll I'll be swimming. I'll be like, so I feel like would it be a good set is like 225s, and then after 225s from a push, and then afterwards you do a 50 all out from the blocks. Try to work on your 100 pace, stuff like that. So, and we've done that where we would talk to him and be like, I think this will be a good set. I think this set really isn't helping that much with us. It's doing more harm than good. So that also was helpful.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
for sure. And then what's it like training with Jack? Because are you guys like really competitive with each other? Like you guys always racing at practice?
Oh, training with Jack is a pain. Jack never lets a it's never a day where Jack just makes it easy on me. And he's very talkative. Jack is talkative. And I'm talkative too. So if we're doing 25 sprints off the blocks and someone says, "Oh, he won," I'll be like, "No, he didn't." I was like, "That's I touched the wall first." It's like, "Give me my proper time," and then like Jack wouldn't let it go. He would start talking too. So Jack is a very competitive person, and we're helpful. We argue all the time, but it's not because we hate each other. It's because we care about each other so much, and we want to see each other get better. So I would I would call Jack out in practice. He would call me out in practice. We would call each other out after practice. It's always us talking about practice and how we can make each other better and help each other out. So Jack is a great training partner, but I would definitely say he annoys the hell out of me. It's annoying sometimes.
Yeah,
I just know he's being a good teammate.
for sure. Yeah,
Pretty funny.
the fact that Henderson State has, two, yeah, you guys go 1-2, is that right? Last year in the 50
Yes,
free?
sir.
So
Yes,
19,
sir.
you got a 1904 50 freestyle, and then was he like 19-2, 19-2?
Yes, sir.
All
And
in small town
definitely this
Arkansas. It's just amazing.
and we always laugh about that. Is like you got the two fastest people in the country in Division 2 right now, and guess where we're from? Small town in Arkansas. Like, and nobody's ever heard about it. Nobody knows about it. It's I sometimes I like to think about it like in that one movies and Cars where Lightning McQueen gets stuck in Radiator Springs and nobody's heard about it in like 20, 30 years because Henderson was a big thing. I would say about 50 years ago, they won that conference, placed high at nationals, but they
Yeah,
just kind of fell off. But now it's kind of having a rebirth,
Yeah.
you know?
for sure.
So
So why do you think people, choose Division 2? Is it because under recruited by like, D1 is missing talent, or people just say, "Hey, I just prefer a smaller school. I prefer that atmosphere." Or yeah, like this episode is brought to you by Destro Machines. Unlock your true swimming potential with the ultimate training companion, the Destro Swim Tower. Designed by a former Olympic trials contender, this tower brings elite power resistance training to all swimmers, regardless of budget. Their swim meter timer adds precision to your reps, making practice both competitive and thrilling. Safety is paramount. Experience unmatched stability and sleek design. The marine-grade pulleys ensure smooth resistance, no more rope hassle. Crafted with pride in the USA, the Destro Tower is your path to greatness. Elevate your training today and make waves like never before.
in Division 2, I would say some people they like that smaller school. They like because it's easier to focus and just maintain everything that's going on with school, friends, and swimming or whatever athletics they're doing. It's way easier to maintain it in Division 2. For me, um, when I was getting recruited, my mom was like, I feel like a small school would be great for you just because I have trouble maintaining focus in class. And when you have that one on one with a teacher, like on a first name basis, instead of being a number out of the division, Division 1 school just because there's so many. You're student number 156, but at Henderson or a small Division 2 school, they'd be like, "Oh, you're." They might not. Sometimes they might not even know your name, but they'll be like, "Oh, you're that swimmer." So they already build that connection with you, and it's a lot easier to understand the class when you walking in and you already know, like, you kind of have that student teacher relationship, friendship, and it's like a strong bond. So it's like you're prone to pay more attention in class, and especially when it's a smaller team, you're prone to pay more attention with your coach and listen to him more because you know that you all two are in it together. He's put a lot of money and trust into you. You're putting a lot of money and trust into him. So it's like, let's help each other instead of hurt each other and build ourselves, build each other up.
For sure.
So going like 3 for 3 last year is, first of all, incredible. And then second of all, you're doing this all in like sprinting events, whereas like you mess up one thing, like by the smallest margin, your race is over. So like
Yeah.
how do you just perfect every single race and like do so well on all three of the sprint races?
For me, it was definitely a lot of studying, like film study. I have maybe 100 videos of me swimming a 53, and I about each month I rewatch my races, rewatch my last race, and see what thing I'm doing bad. If it was like my turn, whether it was my breakout, whether it was my start, and I look at it and be like, why did it look off or why did it feel off? And I study and I don't analyze it, rewatch my video. I just after my race, I'd be like, extra stroke here. I should have kicked a little bit longer, something like anything like that. And I studied it so much that I know it like the back of my hand, and I know um, what to do. So I'm less likely to make a mistake. And I've trained it so much in practice. We do a lot of race stuff on Saturdays that I know how my body should feel, how it feel to go at 22, how it feel to go at 20, how it feel to go at 19. Those small little things come back to me at meet, and I just know how this feels, and know if I'm going fast enough, if I'm going too slow, if I need to pick it up, if I my stroke isn't pulling like how it should be pulling, anything like that. It's just like a lot of studying, a lot of training, just doing it over and over, repetitive. It starts to click, and you're less likely to make mistakes.
For sure. So kind of after that, spectacular meet, you go 1904 and you go 42-3. I mean, 1904 would have B finaled you. You could have scored points in Minneapolis at the Division 1 national championships. Did you like consider at all like, oh man, maybe I could go try D1? Was that a thought that went through your mind or yeah.
It's definitely always been a thought in my head. It's like uh I can I can definitely run with the big dogs in Division 1 and hold up my own, probably even get a top 3 finish or a national title. It and it's always crossed my mind. But it's a tough decision. It's an extremely tough decision to make because I build a connection with Scotty so like that's strong, and I know that he has the right heart to make me faster, and I'm gonna always give it my 100% all at Henderson, and he's gonna help me and drive me to make me better. So it's always that, and honestly, Scotty and Jack, they're all like a family to me. I built that connection with them, that they know if something's going on in my training, and we'll have a sit down conversation and talk about it. So it's always been there, but it's just hard to say what uh, if I would do it and when I would do it. So, but I've definitely thought about Division 1, and that's actually my goal when it comes to swimming at these meets because after nationals, it was kind of hard to find something to motivate myself. So I just told myself, whenever I swim at a dual meet, mid-season meet, or conference or nationals, that I'm gonna try throw down a top 8 time or be the fastest person in Division One and Division Two, and that's always my goal. I might have the fastest time in 100 back right now in Division Two, but it's like a top 10 or top 20 right now, I think, in Division One. So I always focus on that and always trying to be top 10, top 5, top or number one in those events.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's honestly pretty interesting. Like kind of like switching gears, like what would it mean to like represent the Bahamas like at the Olympics? Because we were looking and you're really close to the Olympic times.
It would mean the whole world to me to go to the Olympics and represent the Bahamas. It's always been my life goal. It's always been something that I wanted to do since I was about maybe 7 or 8 when I watched I think it was 2012 Olympic Games where the Bahamas won the 4x4 relay in track. I just seeing that really motivated me, and just I wanted to be one of those hometown heroes and represent the Bahamas at the Olympics and hopefully make it to the finals or even make it on the podium so the Bahamas can hear that national anthem again from 2012.
For sure. What's the process to qualify for the Olympics? Is it just hitting that A standard, that Olympic A standard, or does Bahamas kind of do it? Is it different process or yeah?
So it is a little bit of a different process. Every country is allowed 2 athletes, 1 male, 1 female, at the Olympics. That's minimum. I think it's something that they want to do to try and have every country represented at the Olympics, which is really good. So, like the small countries like the Bahamas, since we don't have that big of a number of swimmers, what they do is if you have the highest FINA points, you get to go in whatever event. If my highest FINA points was in my 50 free, I would get to go for my 50 free, and then I think I would get to go for my second highest, so I'd be able to choose a second event. So that's how you can make the team. Or if you get Olympic A cut, you automatically go. There's no you have to finish top 2 at nationals. If you have your A cut, you automatically go. If you have a B cut, I think you get an invitational or something like that. But it's a little bit more to it. If like I have a B, because I forget the whole ruling, but I know basically if you get that A cut, you automatically go, and that's what my eyes are set on right now. Just getting the A cut. I don't want to go through the whole FINA points process. I just want to get my A cut and automatically be named to the team.
Gotcha.
For sure.
So the FINA points. So Bahamas is going to get 2 swimmers no matter what, and then they'll take the 2 with the highest FINA points, I guess.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They'll take
Yeah. So if you didn't get the A or B cut, then you'd be reliant on outscoring your fellow country members on whoever has the highest event with FINA points. Is that right?
That's just how it works. If I don't get if no male or female gets a A or B cut, they would go to FINA points, and whoever has the highest FINA points, 1 male, 1 female. So the highest male, if it was me or Marvin or Isaac, whoever has the highest FINA points out of us 3 would go, and then they would go on the women's side and do the same thing. I think also you have to compete at world championships. I think that is another mandatory thing. You have to compete at world championships to be considered. But after you compete at a world championship and It's whoever has the highest FINA points.
Gotcha. And is that just one man, one woman for the two? Gotcha.
Yeah, it's one male, one female.
Gotcha. Unless someone gets an A cut, then like it's just like scratch kind of. Like if
Yeah,
one woman, one man got an A cut, they wouldn't take another the FINA points
they
at
wouldn't
all.
take another. Just
Gotcha.
at that point, whoever else wants to go would have to get a cut or a B cut or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so
So
it's two total. Two total is like the minimum. One man, one woman. Gotcha.
two, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting process. I never knew that they did that, but that's yeah, best of luck for you on that journey. Luke and I, if you're there,
Thank you.
we'll be rooting you on, no doubt. We'll be looking at the results.
We always watch them. Yeah, so yeah, kind of like moving forward, I was looking at some of your times like this season, and you were already 19.5 in the 50 free, and you were 43.4 in the 100. You're already like that's
Mm.
like point 0.5 off your like tapered suited best time. Like this early on, how does it make you feel like going forward into the season?
It makes me feel really confident in my swimming right now. Uh, Knowing that I'm basically in the same shape or even better shape that I was in at nationals. I just know that moving forward, it's mainly just me staying healthy, staying focused, and just making sure that my body is right. I don't have any injuries, I don't get sick, and it throws off my training, and just trying to just get better. So just never lay off the gas pedal. Is always just full drive and just 100% the entire time.
That's that's definitely going to be exciting to watch because do you know what you were like last year around this time?
Oh, last year around this time, I think I was maybe like a 49 in my 100 back, maybe like a 45, 46, and then I think like I'm either a full second or a half second faster than where I was at last season around the same time.
Yeah,
And even in practice, it's a whole lot faster. So I'm just excited and can't wait until the end of the year and see what times I go.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see what happens.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, Luke, what do we got left? Just kind of some rapid fire questions to end it out. We kind of just do some fun questions to close thing out, unless you want to add anything else. So, favorite meat snack? Like, what are you eating on at a meet?
Mike Nikes.
Okay. Like pre-race jams, what do you listen to behind the blocks?
Uh, Shoot, probably some Chief Keef, J. Cole, Gunna, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, any one of those, like Titanium, any one of those. Kind of a
That's
mix. It really depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Gotcha. Favorite pool you swam at?
Favorite pool that I swam at, definitely have to be in Australia World Championships. That was a really good pool. I really
Gotcha.
like that one. It's really different.
yeah. Who's the coolest person you've swam with? Like just in the same pool?
Cool. Like in the same heat or just like at the
No,
same
just like in
time.
the same pool. Like say you saw him in like the cool down pool.
Caleb Dressel.
There you go.
I was at a TYR meet with them. So
Yeah,
Caleb Dressel.
that'd be
Nice. If you could swim with anyone, dead or alive, so you could swim with any person who's ever existed, who you swimming with, and they get the ability to swim too.
I'm okay.
that's
Famous guy had a dream. I'm okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like it'd
Sweet.
be very interesting. You'll have a lot of insight and just a lot of wisdom with him. So I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah, that's a new one. That's pretty interesting actually.
Yes, I like that
What's
one.
yeah. What's your favorite hobby outside of swimming?
Basketball. I love playing basketball and video games. That's my two favorite. And cooking, three favorite things.
Oh,
They're kind of the same playing. If I'm not playing video games, I'm playing basketball. If I'm not doing that, I'm cooking. I love those three things.
Yeah. What are you
man.
cooking? What's like your go-to?
Right now, I've it's kind of been on repeat, just chicken and rice right now.
All
But
right.
my favorite thing to cook is curry chicken. It's a really good and quesadillas. I love curry chicken quesadillas and nachos.
There you
There we
go.
That's
go.
really good.
Well, I think that about wraps it up.
That wraps it
All
up.
right.
Luke, close it out.
Yeah, so just like to thank you for coming on. It was like great talking to you. I look forward to seeing how well you do this season because I mean, you've started it really well, so that's pretty hype. Looking forward.
Yes.
And
Yeah, do you have
uh,
any like last words of wisdom for anyone who's watching?
uh, I would definitely say one thing for me is like just if you're having a bad season right now, that doesn't mean you're gonna have a bad season next year. Every bad player, like every player, they've always had their best game after their worst game, you know? So I would just say to stay focused. Everybody has their time to shine. Stay in the grind. Stay focused. Don't ever lose that passion. Don't ever lose that reason why you started in the first place. And just stay focused. Have fun with it, and try not to stress yourself out. Just always have fun.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's great words.
All
Yeah,
right.
so that's
Episode 34 in the
yes,
books.
sir. Lamar Taylor.